Spoilers ahead! Today we are going to review the Argentinian horror movie Terrified, released in 2017. Terrified, written by Damian Rugna and set in Gran Buenos Aires, is an Argentinian paranormal story also known as Aterrados to those who are proficient in the Spanish language. The story focuses on otherworldly occurrences that are occurring in an ordinary neighborhood in Gran Buenos Aires. A few short days after the funeral for Alicia's kid, the boy's body mysteriously reappears at their home and sits lifeless at their kitchen table. Walter, who lives across the street, is convinced that his neighbor's house is occupied by a ghostly figure that only he can witness. He tried to contact a paranormal investigator, but they don't believe him and ask him for proof. He finally fixes a night vision camera at the corner of his bed and goes to sleep. After a few hours, he wakes up and sees that his camera has fallen from the stand, and when he sees the recording, he witnesses a weird creature standing beside him. Suddenly, that creature attacks him, and then the scene shifts. The flip side, next door, Clara reveals to Juan Blumetti, her husband, that she has heard voices in the water pipes of their home, and that these voices have threatened to murder her. Juan thinks that the weird noises in the walls are coming from his neighbor, Walter Carabajal, even though he hears them in the walls himself. Clara is being supernaturally flung around their bathroom when Juan discovers an unseen apparition that is brutally pounding her to death. These three stories are woven together into one non-linear story in the film Terrified, which has an air of urban legend in its tones. The instances are connected, and a police officer, along with two paranormal investigators and a forensic analyst, launch an inquiry into the peculiar neighborhood in the suburbs of Buenos Aires. Dr. Rosenstock, a specialist in the paranormal, his co-worker, Dr. Maura Albrecht, and forensic analyst Mario Jano establish a connection between the death of Clara and several other cases with comparable peculiarities. The three individuals interrogate Juan and demand that he reveal all of his knowledge concerning Walter and the event that took place in their community prior to Clara's passing. Pucho's dead body comes back to life after the boy's funeral, and he goes to Alicia's house to confront her. Jano is asked to come to Alicia's residence to assist with the investigation by Deputy Funes, who used to date Alicia. Jano gives Funes the recommendation to push a cover story to justify where the corpse came from, claiming hallucinations and science that has been misconstrued. This advice comes after Jano saw the body sitting still at the kitchen table. When Jano sees Dr. Albrecht taking pictures of Walter's house across the street, he offers her to inspect Pucho with him. Dr. Albrecht accepts his invitation. When Pucho's friend Patricio Navarro goes inside and discovers Pucho's dead body, he is so terrified that he drops his backpack on the floor. Patricio uses his iPhone to covertly capture Jano and Albrecht, putting Pucho's body in an outdoor freezer. He does this without their knowledge. During the course of the investigation, they come across alarming evidence that pointed to the involvement of a supernatural power. The body of the small kid seems to have come back to life, although no one has ever seen it move, and there is video proof of a tall person who does not look natural lurking underneath the bed of the man who went missing. In order to stay over at Juan's house, Dr. Rosenstock and Albrecht, together with Jano, must first obtain permission from Juan. Rosenstock and Funes spend the night in Walter's house as part of their research into paranormal activity. Albrecht and Jano set up their equipment at Juan and Alicia's respective homes. Jano watches over Alicia's household. Rosenstock's blood is drawn out through a hole in the kitchen cabinet by an entity that cannot be seen. Jono watches a hazy figure that can only be seen from certain angles lunge at him through a window. The figure is only visible from certain perspectives. Rosenstock provides evidence that two realities are coexisting in the same space and time by demonstrating to Funes that the same creatures can be perceived in a variety of ways depending on whether one is viewing them in the dark or in the light. Fearful, Funes goes across the street to find Jono within a cabinet in phantom form with glass shards embedded in his eyes. Funes is shaken by this discovery. Funes is going to report what he observed to Albrecht. Funes is cautioned by Albrecht that not everything he sees is, in fact, real. Albrecht provides an explanation that expands on Rosenstock's theory by stating that the animals are extra-dimensional beings that occupy humans through the medium of water microorganisms. Inside a breach in the wall, Albrecht had a conversation with a mutated version of Walter. Funes saw the claw of whatever creature it was that came out of the hole and killed Albrecht. Funes passes out as a result of having a heart attack. Alicia returns to confront Funes about his statement that she was going crazy after Patricio's mother gives her the footage that was recorded on Patricio's cell phone. When Funes finds Pucho's dead body in the back seat of Alicia's car, he refuses to go to the hospital, even though he has asked Alicia to accompany him there. After that, Funes gets into his own vehicle. Just as Funes is about to race away, his window is attacked by an unknown entity. As the movie goes on, more evidence of this kind is revealed, and the detectives find themselves in increasingly perilous situations as a result. Even though two of them are well-versed in the supernatural, they aren't aware of any surefire means to rid the world of the creatures that they come across, and as a result, their job frequently feels fruitless. As the trio studies into recent deaths come to light in parallel with their investigations into the past, the level-headed team comes face to face with a chameleon-like creature whose insatiable thirst for blood threatens to claim their lives as well. Officer Enrique Guzman gets in touch with Funes to inform him that Jono is behaving in an odd manner. Guzman is given the recommendation by Funes to immediately evacuate the area. Funes comes back to Alicia's house bearing a container of gasoline. Alicia is discovered by Funes, who is dangling from a noose. After Funes has confronted Jono while he is in his beast form, he sets fire to all three dwellings. After 1 year, Masiero, Dr. Razzioni, and Officer Guzman conduct an interview with Juan in hopes of obtaining information on Funes' disappearance. The interview focuses on Juan's interactions with Rosenstock, Albrecht, and Jono. Juan has a glimpse of a burned manifestation of Dr. Rosenstock hovering over the shoulders of the three men. The hidden presence of Rosenstock launches an assault. The movie ends here. I hope you enjoyed the recap. Please be sure to like our videos, subscribe to our channel, and turn your bell notifications on for more brilliant film recaps. Thank you.